covering every county. This is your statewide newscast, Arkansas Today.
Good afternoon, I'm Mallory Brooks. Thanks for joining us for Arkansas Today on this Friday afternoon. It has been a busy week for House investigators. They've listened to days of testimony behind closed doors from 17 witnesses, with 12 of those also appearing publicly. Susan Malveaux explains what is next in the impeachment inquiry.
House Democrats moving one step closer to impeaching President Trump, building their case that he orchestrated a plan to withhold military aid and dangled a White House meeting in exchange for Ukraine announcing investigations into his political rivals. Multiple Democratic sources telling CNN they're hoping to wrap up by Christmas, including holding proceedings before the House Judiciary Committee, drawing up articles of impeachment against Trump and holding a vote on them.
We'll regroup next week and talk about the steps moving forward.
But their investigation has hit some roadblocks, with the White House and State Department both stonewalling Democrats from accessing important documents and having access to top administration officials allegedly involved in the scheme.
What I would like to see happen next is that Ambassador Bolton and Secretary of State Pompeo do exactly what the very brave and courageous people who worked for them did, which is to step forward and put patriotism for their country ahead of their own personal interest.
Still, Speaker Nancy Pelosi says they have enough evidence to press forward.
No, we're not going to wait till the courts decide. We can't wait for that because, again, it's a technique. It's obstruction of justice, obstruction of Congress.
House Republicans disagree.
I think we've had enough. I think it's time to shut it down.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
In the last hearing of the week, former White House national security official Fiona Hill described Ambassador Gordon Sondland's role in Trump's actions towards Ukraine.
He was being involved in a domestic political errand, and we were being involved in national security foreign policy, and those two things had just diverged.
The White House's former top Russia advisor also dismantling Trump's debunked conspiracy theory that it was Ukraine, not Russia, that interfered in the 2016 elections.
I refuse to be part of an effort to legitimize an alternate narrative. These fictions are harmful even if they're deployed for purely domestic political purposes.
David Holmes, an aide at the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine, detailing the phone conversation he overheard between Sondland and President Trump just one day after the president's now famous call with Ukraine's leader.
The president's voice was loud and recognizable. I then heard President Trump ask, so he's going to do the investigation. Ambassador Sondland replied that he's going to do it.
Holmes quoting Sondland as saying the president did not care about Ukraine. Instead, he only cared about
big stuff that benefits the president, like the Biden investigation that Mr. Giuliani was pushing.
And President Trump has told his House allies to keep fighting tough. We are your local election headquarters. We told you last week about State Senator Joyce Elliott's bid for the U.S. congressional seat currently being held by French Hill. Elliott made her announcement for Arkansas's 2nd Congressional District just hours before the end of the filing period for the 2020 elections. Yesterday, we caught up with Representative Hill in Washington, D.C. to get his take on what this next campaign season will bring.
I look forward to a vigorous campaign in 2020 for re-election. I've never campaigned without a high-quality opponent, and so I look forward to debating the issues next year for 2020.
Senator Elliott is the only Democrat who filed a run against Republican Representative French Hill. Hill was first elected to the seat in 2014. A federal judge temporarily stopping the first scheduled federal execution in 16 years. According to officials, Daniel Lewis Lee was set to be put to death for murdering an Arkansas family. Records show he's been on death row for 20 years. The execution was halted as a lawsuit on how it will be carried out continues. Back in July, Attorney General William Barr announced the federal government would begin resuming executions in early December. And after that announcement, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton released a statement reading in part, quote, "These endless delays make a mockery of our justice system and treat the victims of violent crime with stunning disregard."